Face yoga, a natural way to a more youthful appearance or a hidden wrinkle enhancer. Time and again, we hear the theory that face yoga can cause new wrinkles by consciously tensing muscles. But is that really the case? Or is there more to it? Today, we are looking at a scientific study on this topic, and I will explain to you from my experience as a face yoga instructor why face yoga can have the opposite effect if done correctly. Now, to the rumor that face yoga causes wrinkles. In the systematic review, The Effectiveness of Facial Exercises for Facial Rejuvenation, a systematic review. From the year 2013, it is noted that the effectiveness of facial exercises for rejuvenation is controversial. A key statement is that rejuvenation remains a topic of debate. In fact, the excessive use of facial muscles is often the cause of wrinkles, which is why such exercises might have the opposite effect. This statement is supported by a source from the American Society for Aesthetic Plastic Surgery, which explains that while facial muscles can help compensate for volume loss, excessive and repetitive facial exercises can also lead to unwanted expression lines and wrinkles. So does this mean that face yoga actually does more harm than good? The concerns themselves are absolutely justified, because if you just randomly tense muscles without considering the balance of the face, new wrinkles can indeed form. And that's exactly why it's so important that face yoga is not just muscle training, but targeted. It is used to relieve tension and bring the face into balance. And this is where it comes into play, why face yoga wrinkles. It does not promote wrinkles, but balances them out. Our face consists of many small muscles that are all interconnected. An overstrained muscle can cause wrinkles, while a weak muscle can lead to a loss of facial firmness. A good face yoga training aims to balance these imbalances, not just blindly train muscles. Let's take the forehead. Many people have an overactive forehead muscle because they unconsciously tense it, for example, when speaking or concentrating. This leads to forehead wrinkles. At the same time, the eye muscles are often weak. If you simply relax the forehead through appropriate exercises and stretches, the eyebrows can droop. The solution: relax the forehead and specifically strengthen the eye muscles. Preventing the sagging of the face is also an important point. Here, for example, is another example, the platysma muscle, which is the large muscle that extends over the neck. Due to poor posture or a lot of screen work, which many of us have, it can become tense and also pull the face downward. A proper face yoga training specifically relaxes this muscle, so that it does not pull the face downward. At the same time, the cheek and mouth muscles must be strengthened to achieve a natural lifting effect. Sometimes, during the first weeks of face yoga training, it can happen that you feel like wrinkles are becoming more pronounced. Why is that? Because you are using muscles that were previously inactive. But that is part of the process. Over time, the muscles find their balance and the face becomes more harmonious. It's like with sports. For example, when you start strength training, you don't see immediately defined muscles. It takes time. And our face also needs time to adjust and get used to the new movements. And of course, to build muscle mass accordingly and to truly release tensions permanently. Because if we have a very active facial expression, for example, we also need to ensure that we do awareness exercises to see if we might be tensing our forehead a lot in everyday life, moving it a lot, and become aware that we might actively try to tense it less. Move it less in everyday life if it might not be necessary for the expression itself. Face yoga can also help with this, to control subconscious facial expressions more effectively. So, is face yoga really a wrinkle enhancer? No, not if you do it correctly. A professional face yoga instructor knows exactly which muscles need to be relaxed and which need to be strengthened to achieve a natural balance. It's important that you practice face yoga with awareness and listen to your body. In the process, it can happen that we subconsciously tense muscles that we shouldn't actually be tensing during the exercise simply because the facial muscles are not yet developed enough. The face, the habit, the movements are not so familiar, and as a result, other muscles try to compensate. Here, it is important that a trained face yoga instructor or a well-designed program also ensures that appropriate counter exercises follow. So for example, if I see that someone is tensing their forehead muscle even though the exercise is actually focused on the eyes, or if they are squinting when the cheek muscles are being strengthened, I can, in private coaching of course, immediately follow up with a stretching or relaxation exercise for the tense area so that this tension is immediately released. And of course, once I've learned that, I know it as well, and I can ensure in a recorded program that these exercises appear balanced. So if I'm doing exercises where I know many people also tense their forehead or their eyes, I can, after doing this exercise, generally incorporate a relaxation exercise for the forehead or something similar next. If you want to learn how to properly integrate face yoga into your daily life, subscribe to my channel for more tips.